is a believer
Yo,
in how
yo,
it should
yo,
be
welcome
done.
back to my
Take
YouTube
the
channel.
toughest fight.
And
By doing
this
that,
is
he
Ruli.
became a world champ
It's
once,
niya, sarili niya.
and he had titanium fused to his orbital bones twice. Now he's refreshed. Can he do what no other fighter has, what 36 have failed at? We find out now.
Load kami ng ano, ng...
And Dre, I offer you this. Among all the analysis,
ayan o, Brook. Load kami, ha? Yan.
Is that Bud Crawford at times has been a slow starter. In fact, Dre, the fight we did against Egis Kaviaskis, Egis outlanded Crawford total punches over the course of the first 3 rounds. What should be Brook's approach early on?
Yun lang.
Well, he can't get reckless, but he needs to start fast, start picking up that jab. I think Brook is realizing right now that Terence Crawford is a lot longer than he realized, and the space between, you know, where he is now and actually hitting Crawford is a lot further.
Tsaka ano yan, walang talo siya dyan. Si Crawford, tapos dalawang talo si Brook. Wala, kawawa si Brook dyan. Malakas talaga. Malakas yan si ano? Si Crawford, grabe. Si ano nga, si Kan nga, suko ganyan eh. Si Kan, American, no.
Is playing Crawford's game now.
Grabe.
He's watching, he's studying, and I don't think he can outthink Crawford.
Ayun si Donaire talaga, malo talaga yun.
As he comes behind that left hand.
See, Brook thing is timing. That's
Si
his thing. He
Casimiro nga
wants
eh.
to time
Si
Crawford on
Casimiro,
the way in. You know, Brook also
nagano,
has a great jab,
naghahamon
a
kay
sharp jab,
Inoue.
a strong jab. And you can see Terence Crawford trying to figure out how he can land his jab without getting hit. Another thing.
Dalawa naman sa Pilipino na gano'n, basta
but he came out in the right-handed stance, probably too confused.
Malakas talaga siya.
KELL BROOK.
He has power in either hand.
Bagay.
He has guys, whether it is orthodox or southpaw. But in recent years, we have seen plenty of Crawford.
Kala ko maliit lang yan si Crawford, malaki pala.
And wildly effective in doing so. Here he comes out as a righty. And there is that jab from KELL BROOK as he goes to the body against the champ.
Brook jabbing extremely well right now. Not just to the head, but as you just saw, also to the body.
There he throws the right hand behind it.
Brook has a brilliant 1-2. It's automatic. It's his favorite combination, but his jab right now is landing.
He just scored with it accurately upstairs against Crawford.
And that's what it's about. It's about breaking the timing and the rhythm of Terence Crawford. And you have to do that with your jab. Set it up. The power hand, which is the right hand for Brook.
Oh, yan o. Grabe. Lakas talaga. Wow, agad. Ayun, munti ka na.
As he goes southpaw for a moment, doubles up the right-hand jab, and then comes with a left. Good exchange here as he switches back to righty.
Round 1.
Fascinating first round. Going to take a short break.
Round 2.
He landed 6 of them.
Look, timing is what KELL BROOK is special at. You know, he has a 69-inch reach. You have to understand that. He has the shorter arms in this matchup, but he knows when to throw his jab and at the right time, at the right distance, and at the right speed.
Funny to say that he doesn't have the reach. I mean, just look at the size advantage. Look at
the
size across the shoulders, across the back. Look at the muscles popping in the upper body.
Sobrang ata ng
base he has as well. That foundation with the legs.
Matigas yung nahirapang magsulto ka lang yung mabigat.
Brook is taking a page out of Egis Kaviaskis.
Di kagaya ni Pacquiao ba na pag sumuntok
he's waiting. He's looking to
rapid talaga ba?
He's trying to get Crawford to commit so he can make him pay.
Jab is giving Crawford a lot of problems right now. You see him thinking, and Brook is doing the right thing. He's jabbing. That's the most important thing he can do right now because it sort of keeps him out of danger. It helps him to kind of create his range and where he wants to let his shots go, and it's also got Crawford thinking. The fight's going to get interesting if Crawford is able to make adjustments. I've seen Brook have a great plan A. He's got a great boxing ability.
Share and like this video.
There's time to make adjustments. Like in the Spence fight, I don't see him make that adjustment. We've seen Crawford do it in the past.
Si Crawford, champion yan.
Because plan A,
Brook has the advantage. KELL BROOK, champion din yan. Kaso nga lang,
in May of 2017. That was the
wala
last time Brook
natigil din siya tapos natalo sa ni Triple G at saka ni ano.
He was fighting brilliantly, and then Spence got to him
Terence,
with the power and scored 11th round TKO with a broken left.
Sila, dalawa lang nakatalo sa kanya. Lalo na si Crawford, mas malakas yan kay ano.
You also want to see how Brook takes the shots of Crawford as he starts to land.
Mas mabilis si Crawford kay Spence. Matigas lang talaga si ano. Si Spence. Yun o. Yan o. Yan o.
Neither fighter can afford to make a mistake. And as you see, Brook stepped in just a tad bit, and Terence had combinations waiting on him.
Sapul ka, sapul.
Just fired off a right uppercut, did Kell Brook.
Brook has every punch in his arsenal.
Mabagal, diba?
He has a strong left hook. He also
Lagi
has a straight right
si
hand
ano si
and a
Brook
beautiful
kay
uppercut. And as you can see, his jab is giving Terence Crawford problems, and Terence goes southpaw.
Kalimutan ko yung pangalan ni yung kasparing mate ni Pacquiao.
Crawford switches for one of two reasons. Either he sees something, or what he was doing in the right-handed stance wasn't working.
What do you suspect here, Dre?
I think
yun,
the latter is true. The right-handed stance wasn't working, and he wants to see if he can get something going from the left-handed stance.
No.
And a 2 in Vegas. Into CompuBox, Bud Crawford opponents land just 21% of their total punches. That is #1 in the world.
Kaya sabi ko sa iyo, pag si Spence at saka si Crawford maglaban,
so far tonight, Kell Brook is landing 36% of his punches against Terence Crawford.
So don't think that Kell Brook is worried about Terence Crawford going southpaw. He's not worried about that at all because he's used to that. He comes from the English gym. He's used to seeing switch hitters in his gym, guys that switch from orthodox to southpaw. It's nothing to him.
You mentioned the Ingle gym. That is the veteran British trainer Dominic Ingle, who has trained Kell Brook since the start of his career. But Ingle opted out of this world title fight due to COVID concerns because Kell Brook trains in the Canary Islands for training camp. Ingle did not want to travel and then have to quarantine nor come to the United States. So instead, Carlos Formento is the trainer in the corner of Kell Brook. First time they've ever worked together.
I'll tell you one thing that the southpaw stance has done. It's taking the jab away from Kell Brook. You see he's not landing his jab consistently anymore.
Pero pag matamaan si Crawford sa suntok ni Kell Brook, mahihilo rin yan. Malakas din si
That's what happens. That's what turning
Sinabayan
southpaw
din
does. But it does allow you to land a right hand like Brook just landed on Crawford right now.
A right hand can be the best weapon against a southpaw. And of course, when he is in that lefty stance, you will see that right hand of Bud Crawford, as it is right now, hanging right over the front of Kell Brook.
Listen, Crawford has the reach advantage, but he's going to have to close the distance on Kell Brook. He told us in the build-up to this fight that Brook can't fight mid-range and in close. Right now, Brook is winning the battle from the outside. Crawford's got to slowly start to close their space.
There's that right lead again from Kell Brook. Minutes ago here in round 3. Pretty good start for the challenger, the former IBF welterweight champion. A guy who says he's rejuvenated. 3 fights since he lost the welterweight championship to Errol Spence.
That's how Errol Spence had success against Brook. He closed the distance and started to bully Kell Brook. He started to fight him in close. Brook fought back valiantly, but he really didn't have any answers for that.
Crawford having his moments there.
Magaling.
I see some swelling already.
Nakatama si Kell Brook, mahina lang, no? Parang dumidikit lang yung tama eh. Dinig mo talaga yung ano.
Way to answer that right hand.
Hindi tatagal to, siguro mga round 6.
In the sport, Shakur Stevenson saying he expects his good friend Terence Crawford to pick up the pace here. CompuBox has Kell Brook 24 of 99 punches, Crawford 25 of 93. Shakur Stevenson will fight December 12th in this ring against Toka Khan Cleary. Shakur, the recent featherweight champion, now contending at 130 pounds, looking for a showdown for a belt here. Round number 4.
Sapul.
Crawford has to continue to get his lead foot outside the lead foot of Brook.
Ayun, abay na. Agay, tulog. Sabi ko na abay. Tulog eh. Wala, nahihilo.
Just like that,
Wala.
Crawford hits the gas.
7, 8, come to me, come to me. You all right?
Wala, hanggang round 4 na to. Kala ko nga, aabot ang 6 rounds eh.
27 now.
Wala na, wala na, wala na.
Do we have 28 right here? Vicious attack to close it.
Tulog. Ayan o, ayan o.
And he stares.
Nahihilo
As you
talaga.
can
Oh,
see, Kell Brook was
grabe.
moving forward. He shot a jab out there. Crawford timed it over the top with a nice
Yung tama ba
short,
talaga na
I would say jab,
hilong-hilo ba?
hook, jab,
Dito, slow motion, no?
hook,
Boom.
That's the first knockdown.
grabe,
Remember, the ropes held him up.
boom.
Oh, grabe. Wala.
Look in his eyes.
At this point, the
Mas
fight was
matindi
as
pa
good
yung
as done
na-experience niya kay,
because
ano?
Terence Crawford is one
Kay,
of the best
tawag dito?
finishers
American
in the
pala.
game.
Yun, si
You
American.
can't be hurt
Ang
like that
rasyon ni
against
American, yung
Crawford,
itlog daw niya
especially
sa
knowing that he had a slow start. He wants
Oo.
to come in here
Sa
and
Crawford.
prove a point and remind everybody why he's atop that
Hindi.
list,
Hindi.
and that's how you do it.
Sumuko.
Once again, to your point, Tim, it's not a 3 or 4 round fight. It's a 12-round fight
Sa edad ngayon?
or less.
Hindi mo
And
masabi
I
kasi
wanted
iba
to
si
see the
Pacquiao eh.
reaction from Kell Brook
Si Pacquiao kasi
once
wala sa
Terence
ano.
Crawford landed
Oh,
a
ayun na,
clean shot,
yo.
and we
Kakatapos
got our
na namin
hands
manood ng
Discussing the
laban
victory
ni
with promoter
Crawford
Bob Arum.
versus Kell
Terrence,
Brook.
it was
So, yun
close
na, hanggang
until
round
it
4 lang,
wasn't.
guys, mga
What did you
kabisdak
see that you were
dyan.
able to take advantage of?
And sana masuportaan nyo yung channel namin.
Good distance,
Jeff
you know, and I was
Jazz,
trying to find my rhythm in
ayun,
between, you know,
mag-up pa
get
kami ng
my
video
distance
sana
together,
sa mga
and
ibang araw.
that's why it was so
Hindi kami
competitive at first. I couldn't get my shots off.
Ayun,
What
yun nga,
adjustments
iba
were you
namin
able to make to finally get to,
mag-ano kami,
Kell Brook?
mag-fitting,
Well, you know,
magda-dive daw
just
siya.
step forward a little more, throw a little more punches, but not too much. And I caught up with him a couple of times.
Maglalakad
I know
ka,
that you always talk
magaganyan.
about having to excel the expectations for you. Well, you did tonight because it took Errol Spence 11 rounds to beat him, and you did it in 4. Does that mean anything to you?
Not at all. You know, it was different fights. You know, different, you know, years and whatnot. But Kell's a tremendous talent. I can't take nothing away from him. He came and he tried to take my title. He was in shape. He made the weight. So there was no excuses to be put on the table. He just came off of 3 wins, not coming off of a loss. So he had his confidence up, and he lost to the better man tonight.
You've been clear. The names you want are Manny Pacquiao, Errol Spence. How do you make that happen?
Let me tell you something,
talaga na mahaba.
and I mean this.
Kailangan,
Spence and Garcia
wala
are fighting
talaga
December
siya. Hindi
5.
mo siya pwedeng
If they really
mag-
want to
once
make
na
a
may
big
tubig na
pay-per-view, I'll put Terence
talaga
Crawford in with both of them, one at a time, and he
Hindi
beat
yan
both of them the same night.
Unless
He
may
is
oxygen yan.
far and
Kasi
away
oxygen kasi,
the best
yung
welterweight in the world.
hangin,
He goes
binubuga.
back to the great
yung
welterweights
hangin
like
pumapasok
Ray
sa'yo.
Leonard and Tommy Hearns.
Dalawa yan.
He would have been competitive with them. The welterweights around now are not competitive
Ayun, sa
with
palabas.
Terence Crawford.
And Bob, you know that what made that era great is that everybody fought everybody, and you were able to make the fights with the heavyweights, Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury, twice. Will we see Bud in the ring with Errol Spence in the near future?
Errol Spence will try to avoid Terence Crawford as long as he can because he knows he can't beat Terence Crawford. You saw the performance tonight. I mean, he'll take out Errol Spence in about the same number of rounds like he took out Kell Brook.
Now, we all want to see that fight. I know you want that fight. There was a lot written this week. Where are you, Terence, in terms of your future?
Well, I'm looking to secure a Pacquiao fight. You know, we was close to securing a Pacquiao fight prior to this fight. But being that the COVID, you know, was getting out of hand, the fans couldn't attend the fight, so we had to put a halt to it, and that's when we decided to go with Kell Brook. He was the next available known welterweight that was available to fight. So now we're going to go back to the drawing board and try to revisit that fight with Manny Pacquiao.
We all know that with Pacquiao, it's money. Bob, is it all there for this fight to finally happen in 2021? I know Terrence has wanted it, you wanted it.
The money was there. It had been committed. It was a fight that was going to take place in a country in the Mideast. And then the Minister of Health in that country said, you can't do it because I can't guarantee that we'll allow spectators, and it would have been this week. So he was right. Now they've called us and they said if Terence is successful, we want to resume the talks and see if we can do it in the spring, either before or after Ramadan.
Looks like we're going to the Middle East. Let's go. Thank you very much, Terrence. Thank you very much, Bob. Joe, back to you.
I mean, what else is there to say? That's exactly what the fans want to see. All Top Rank and Bud can do is continue to win and plead and make their case. Bud made his case tonight. Look, I took care of business. He's saying if he is victorious tonight, we'll talk about making that fight happen, even if it's in the Middle East, wherever they got to go. I'm sure Bud will be more than ready to pack his bags and make that fight happen, knowing for his legacy he needs that marquee matchup.
You said it earlier. You know,
Errol Spence and Terence Crawford.
They're both really good, you know. Even though, you know, I've got nothing against any of them, you know. I couldn't really sit here now and say, because I've seen that much of boxing, I know that styles make fights, and they've been brought up the traditional ways in how to box from, you know, in America. They know how to, you know, exactly how to teach how to box in every style. You know, in Britain we're a bit, you know, behind the times, so, you know, it's a bit different. But I think that'd be I think that's the fight to make. You know, I can't actually, you know, even though he's stopped me tonight, Terence, I can't sit here and say he would do that to Spence or he'd beat Spence. You know, it'd be a fight still that everyone needs to see.
I understand that, but you're rich in experience and talent, and you saw something in him. You wanted this fight. How was it different? What was distinct about his style that you didn't figure on?
I think his timing is great, and you know, I was looking across, and I did have a little bit of success, but for some reason I didn't feel comfortable to let my hands pop for some reason, you know, and that's what he made me do. You know, I've seen great fighters come out, and I've seen him in different fights, and they're chucking lots of shots, and I've seen him with certain fighters, and they don't even chuck many shots that round or in the fight, because that fighter makes them do that. He obviously made me do that, and you know, he comes out, his stance, everything else. It's a funny one, it's an hard one, but he's a great talent. I'll tell you, you know, he's obviously a great talent.
Kell, thank you. You've always been a great champion, great fighter. Appreciate what you brought tonight. Joe, back to you.
Got to have respect for Kell Brook for the challenges he has taken on. Sports Center is coming up in just a moment, but we're not going anywhere. We have complete coverage of everything here with Terence "Bud" Crawford and his TKO victory. Sports Center coming up in a moment. You heard the Hall of Famer Bob Arum say this guy's in the class of Sugar Ray, of Tommy Hearns, of Hagler, the greats from the 80s. More to come. Sports Center coming up next.
Yeah, I knew that already.
Me too. Been in there with it.
That's one of the biggest misnomers in boxing, is that the guy with the biggest muscles, the best physique, is the power puncher or the stronger guy. Kell Brook, let me just say this real quick. We respect him, and I mean the boxing community. We don't look down on him for this. He took the leap, he took the, you know, the opportunity, and he ran to it. He's a guy who runs to the fire, not away from it. Terence Crawford tonight started slow. I had him down on the cards, but it's like that sometimes. You stay around this sport long enough, you're gonna have some bad nights and some bad rounds. You just gotta find a way to do it, even when you're not at your best, or maybe when things aren't going your way. And that's why he's atop my pound-for-pound list, because he's not just a front runner. He just came from behind to land that shot, and he did.